Hello again, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Samantha. Today I'm going to show you how to make this reusable Hamentashen gift bag. This will make a fun gift to give away after a Purim play. This will also make a fun craft idea for a party by creating plain bags that your guests can decorate for themselves. Now let's go over the supplies you'll need. You'll need a pattern, which you can download from my shop. The link will be listed below. A pair of scissors, two 20-inch drawstring, two beads, various decorations such as buttons, pom-poms, beads, or ribbons, tracing plate paper, tracing stylus, batting, and buckram. Now let's go over the different types of fabric you can use. Now you really can use anything from denim to linen, cotton blends, satins. Just make sure you use interfacing if you get a lighter fabric. For this pattern, the seam allowance will be 1/4 of an inch. Okay, let's begin. So we're going to take our sides and we're going to start off with 2 pieces first. And we're going to put the right sides together. And so we're going to stitch along this line right here. But we're going to stop 1/4 of an inch. We're not going to sew all the way through. So we can start all the way through from here, and we're going to sew all the way down, and we're going to stop 1/4 of an inch. After we sew that down, we're going to iron our seams down. Next, we're going to get our final side piece. And now we're going to sew this, and we're going to stop 1/4 of an inch from the center. Okay, it should begin to look like this. So we'll have one more seam left open, and so we're going to fold this in half. And here there's no need for a stopping point, so we can just sew all the way through. So after you sew the 3 side pieces together for the bag, we're going to put this aside and we're going to start on our Hamentashen cookies. So next, you're going to put the right sides together. So I have the brown as the outer, and then I have this chocolate color for my filling. And then behind that, I have my batten. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew all around, and then I'm going to leave an opening so that I can turn this inside out. Okay, so now that I have this sewn, I'm going to turn this inside out. And it's going to be from this where the outer and the inner filling are. Now, if you want to clip the edges to make your seams fold down nicer, you can do that. But I'm not going to do that for you today because it'll still work out just fine. So once I get this done, I'm going to sew my other 3 pieces, and then I'm going to hand stitch this close. So I'm going to fold this down 1/4 of an inch, and then I'm going to iron it down really well. And then I'm going to fold this 1/4 of an inch down and iron it down really well. And then I'm going to do a ladder stitch through the to close the opening. Okay, so the next instruction is you have to mark these triangles because this is going to be our top stitch line when we get ready to sew it to the bag. So you can do this multiple ways. You can lay the pattern onto your fabric and make sure that lines up with the seam allowance. Don't forget to allow the seam allowance. And then we're going to flip this over, and you can put your tracing paper in here, and then with your stylus you can trace the line so that it shows up. And you're going to want to mark on the side that you're going to use for the filling. And if you don't have that, you can always use what you have in the house, and you can bend the pattern on the fold line, and then you can just with your pen mark it, and that will do just fine as well. You can also use a pin, because when we sew this to the bag, this is going to fold over and you're not going to even see that. So that is fine if you do use a pin. So what we're going to do now that we have all three of our sides sewn together, we're going to come back to our bag. And we're going to line this up. On your pattern, you have 3 dots, 2 here and 1 here. And you're going to line this triangle that we drew onto our bag with those points. And now we're going to just pin this down, and we're going to top stitch on these over the lines, and we're going to do that to all 3 sides. Okay, so now that we have our top stitching done, we're going to iron down our bags, our Hamentashen cookies, and we're going to iron it towards the center like that. Once we get that ironed down, we're going to want to hand stitch each point close for about, it should be marked on your pattern, but it's going to be 1.5 inches down. So from here to here, there should be 1.5 inches. So we're going to do a ladder stitch from here, and then over here, and then also over here for about 1.5 inches, so that this can lay flat. And we're going to do that for all 3 sides. Okay, so now that we have our ends sewn together, it's starting to look like little Hamentashes. And at this point, you can start to do your decoration, or you can wait till the end when the back is actually put together. And also, if you decide to do like a little craft part of your party, you can just have a bunch of beads and buttons and pom-poms lined up, and your guests can choose what they would like to add to their bags. This bag, I did a candy-like theme. I thought that was fun and cute. I found these little peppermint looking candy things at Hobby Lobby, and all I did was just glue these down. That made it easy and fun, so that your guests don't have to worry about trying to sew. If they don't know how to sew, they can just glue the buttons or the little plastic decorations down. These are little pom-poms, so if your guests are wanting to do like sprinkles, they can just glue each individual pom-pom down. That's really cute. And it's cheap as well. And then also I found these little smiley faces that look like little candies. I thought that was cute as well. And again, I just glue these down to make it easy. So for this bag, I'm actually going to use some ribbon to make it look like chocolate icing or vanilla icing to go on the bag. So, and basically I'm just going to take these, and then I'm just going to hand stitch it down so it can look like cream has been added to the bags. And then I have caramel, and then I'm going to use chocolate as well. And then there's one step that I did. I'm going to just put this to the side. There's one step that I did forget because I don't have my instructions printed out for me, was the lining. And the lining is basically going to be put together just like our outer bag. You're going to put right sides together. And then you're going to sew from this end all the way down to the center, and you're going to leave 1/4 of an inch opening. So you're not going to sew all the way through. And then you're going to continue around until the back is completely sewn together, and then you're going to iron it down, of course. Okay, now that you have your bag decorated, or if you're waiting, the next step will be to fold this in half, and then you're going to sew from here to here 1/4 inch, and you're going to do that for all sides until it's connected. You're also going to do that for your lining. I already did it for this for the video, and so it should look like this once it's completed. And then your bottom will look like this. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get this sewn together, and then we'll add the lining and the outer back together. Okay, so I have this sewn down, and so your bag should begin to look like this. You will have 3 sides, and just make sure you iron your seams down really well, and then you clip all of your thread. So first, before we add these together, we do have to do the drawstring pockets. So what you're going to do first is you're just going to fold down 1/4 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch, and you're going to just iron this down, and then you're just going to sew it. After you sew it down, you're just going to fold it in half like this, and then we're going to attach it to the bag. So let's get this done first, and then I'll come back and show you how to line this up on the bag for you. Okay, so now that we have this, you do have to mark your center, and there is a notch on the pattern. Okay, so now we're going to attach this. So you would just decide what Hamentashen do you want to be your front. I'm going to go with this one. All right, and you're going to take one of these, and you're going to take the center, and you're going to line it up to the center here. And then you're going to sew this down like this. And then you're going to turn it around, and you're going to take this one, and this time it's going to match this center seam right here. And then you're just going to sew all the way around. Okay, and so I'm going to get this taken care of, and then I will be back, and we will add the lining to it. And we're almost done, by the way. Okay, so now we're almost to the end, and this is what it should look like. You should have one drawstring pocket. The center should be lining up with the back seam, and then you should have one where it's showing the front. So we're going to fold that down, and next we're going to add our lining. All right, and we're just going to stick this bag like this in here. We do want the right sides touching and our seams lining up. So we're just going to adjust this until our seams are all lined up. Where is it? There it is. All right. All right, just make sure that your flaps are inside. All right, and so now we're just going to sew all the way around. We will leave about an inch, inch and a half, maybe 2 inches if you need more room. So that we can turn this inside out. So we're going to start here, sew around, and then stop here, and then we'll leave that little space to pull it inside out. Okay, so now that you have it sewn all the way around, we're just going to turn this inside out. Like this. And so this is what your bag should begin to look like. Now the instruction also called for buckram. You don't have to use this. It's mostly just to keep this to keep it shaped down here. So all you do is just take your piece. You can also use what you can find. I mean, if you don't have the money to buy this, or this resource is just not available, you can take a piece of cardboard, something that it's going to give that stiff bottom to it. But you will have to probably, if you use the cardboard, you might have to make it a little bit more flexible so that it can stick in your hole. So I'm just gonna, and you can also use the iron-on to get in there. So I'm just gonna stick this in here, or you can sew it down. So I'm gonna just stick that in there at the bottom. Like that. And so now we have our bag. So we're almost done. There's only two more steps to do, or 3 more. We're of course going to iron this down really well, and then we're going to stitch, I guess what is called stitching a ditch. You're just going to sew close to the seam to keep that down, and then we're going to go up probably a little bit, 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit more, so that we can have the little pocket for our drawstring. All right, so I'm gonna iron this down and do the stitch in the ditch, and then I'm gonna do the 1/4 of an inch stitch from the seam, and then I'll show you how to feed the drawstring through. Right. Okay, so this time I'm going to use this little tool to feed my ribbon through. So I'm just going to stick this in here like this, and then I'm just going to attach it to the hook. There we go. And then I'm just going to pull it through. And remember, you can pin this down so that you don't pull it all the way through. And then I'm going to go through the other side. And then I'm going to hook it again. And close a little latch and then pull it through. Oops. And then I'm just going to tie a little knot this time. I'm not going to add beads. Like that. Okay, and now, yep, I dropped it. All right, and now we're going to do the opposite to the other side. So instead of coming from, well, actually I had it Yep, I had it this way. So we're not going to go from that side. We're going to actually pull from this side now. No, actually it's this side, sorry. So you're going in on this side where you tied the knot. Oops. If I can get it hooked now. There we go. And then I'm just going to pull that through. Then I'm going to stick it through the other side. Try to hook it if I can. I guess that's good enough. And then pull it through. Now we're just going to tie this side. And voila, our bag is done. And so you just pull your drawstring. And you can stick all kind of treats in here, little knickknacks. And you got your little Hamentashen bag. And it looks really cute. It'll be a great little party gift or a great little craft to do at a Purim party. I think people would enjoy that. All right, you guys, I do appreciate you watching my video and watching it to the end. And if you bought the pattern, I appreciate it, and I hope to do many more with you. Also, don't forget to visit my shop. All right, you guys have a wonderful day or evening. Bye-bye.